Hi, my name's Ron Haas. I've lived in Fort Wayne. I moved here in July of 1995. Back in 1985, I was in the Army. I was stationed in Germany, and the military decided that this new HIV test had come out, and they wanted to test everyone who was enlisted to find out if anyone had this particular disease. So they did mass testing. A couple weeks later, I got a call from my company clerk telling me I needed to go to community mental health, which is where they gave test results. There was no post-test counseling, there was no anonymous testing, nothing like that. So what happened was, while I was getting my diagnosis, the word got around to the guys in my unit that I had this gay disease, because back then it was GRID, gay-related immune deficiency. And basically they beat the crap out of me, which was my first introduction to how much hatred there was towards people with this disease, and probably fear on the part of others. That's something they didn't understand. Certainly I didn't understand it at the time. Post-test counseling consisted of, well, you have this disease, you have about 2 years to live, get your affairs in order. And they sent me back to the States. I got out of the military in '87, fully expecting to die, and thought, well, I might as well just party, I might as well just enjoy it, and go out on my own terms. Well, 2 years rolled around, then 5 years rolled around, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm not dead yet. So maybe this is something I need to be more serious about. As time progressed, still around, you know, still not knowing what's going on. And I started to get involved with some drug trials for some early protease inhibitors, which was very, very interesting. They aren't protease inhibitors that you would prescribe today because they're just very toxic and very high dosages. I've seen how things have changed with protease inhibitors. That was the first big game changer for us that made us realize, well, maybe there is hope. You know, this was a drug cocktail that we could be put on, and it was showing very good efficacy of prolonging life with HIV. In 1995, when I moved here, I became a client. One of my first case managers is still one of my best friends today. And I've been a client here since 1995. I've been an employee here. I've done educations, testing, general help out. I've been on the board of directors of the Positive Resource Connection, which was a job that I truly enjoyed and felt like I was being useful to my fellow clients. So, yeah, I've got, what, 23 years, is that? Yeah, 23 years. Be 23 years, yeah, that I've been a client and been involved here. I think they're just a fantastic organization. I think that cities and places that don't have someone like the Positive Resource Connection are truly at a loss in how to deal with this disease within their community. Physical has probably been the more difficult aspect to deal with. Early medications, early AZT, early protease inhibitors were very, very harsh on the body. A lot of problems with diarrhea, headaches, joint aches, nausea. It was very difficult sometimes to eat while you were on these medications. So, of course, you know, we'll just take another pill for that. They'll give you something to deal with the side effects, and so you start managing more and more pills. What a person today is experiencing upon being diagnosed with HIV is totally different than it was for us back in, the late 80s, early 90s. Some of these side effects for me have gone into permanent issues. For instance, protease inhibitors had a bad reaction with my heart. We know that protease inhibitors cause heart disease. Well, I wound up having to have a heart valve replaced because mine just kind of disintegrated. I now have diabetes as a side effect from my medications because the medications have damaged my pancreas. So whereas these medications offer a lot of hope, physically a lot of times there's a price to pay for them. And that price extends into mental and emotional as well. Because no matter how good you feel, no matter what's going on, what you're doing, you're going to have constant reminders that you're living with this disease, whether it's taking your meds or dealing with a side effect or trying to figure out how to pay for your meds, which are extremely expensive. I got my end of year medication report from Walgreens, and they're down at the bottom. Your insurance saved you $101,000. If I hadn't been able to have assistance through Positive Resource Connection and through the state, I wouldn't have been able to pay for those medications. I do think, I think anyone who's HIV positive, at least from my era, I don't know really how it is for those today, but from my era, it would just be nice for one day. Just one day. Get up, do my thing, not have to have this constant mental reminder that, I've got this terminal illness and, things are going great and I can't complain, but things could change very, very quickly. Back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, we were kind of dying off at a pretty horrific rate. A lot of us didn't have support networks at that time, so we would group together. And there was a group of us that were down in San Antonio, and we'd all known each other for a number of years, and we formed a pact that we would always be there. If someone got sick, someone died, of our group, we would be there to help them. I lost my last fellow member of that group a year and a half ago. So it's just me. And that's an odd feeling. So back then, we were still pretty closeted. Yeah, I just decided at one point in my life that if someone wants to be ignorant, if someone wants to be nasty, and someone who cannot accept, then I don't have time for them. And at that point was a transition for me because I started working there. And I started going out and started talking to high school students and drug and alcohol groups and going into county jails and saying, hi, I'm HIV positive and I'm here to talk to you about why you don't want to get this disease. So I think that was a big transition for me. And I also think it was very empowering for me to be able to do that. I've encountered some minor discrimination here. I wound up being on an NBC News commercial after an interview that I did, and my neighbors saw it, and one of them threw a brick through my front window. I don't know who it was, but yeah. So I had that encounter, but for the most part, I would say that the people I've surrounded myself with are extremely supportive, and I love them. I just absolutely love them. I couldn't be here without them. I have been on the AIDS Walk Steering Committee 22 out of the 23 years that it's been in existence, and I know how important it is. This is what helps. The funds raised here are what helps clients living in Northeast Indiana, whether that's making sure they have food, help getting their medications, doctor's appointments, transportation, housing, whatever service we can provide. That's what we're here for. And AIDS Walk helps to pay for that. So I urge anyone, please get involved. come join us and let's just have a good day and a lot of fun. Hi, I'm Ron, and I support the Positive Resource Connection.